factors, the psychological aspect that focuses on the cognitive aspect of an individual, thinking, reasoning, problem solving, all these things should have to be developed at a certain level. Otherwise, nobody can achieve at a certain level and adjust suitably in any kind of given environment. Psychophysiological, that means we all know that behavior having some biological or physiological basis of an individual. So behavior is the product of some biological and physiological conditions of an individual and social and situational factors. That means the person where he lives in and how one is brought up in his or her life, that is a very important factors. And these three influencing factors that influence behavior of an individual, apart from if we consider an individual an athlete. So now the question, when the professional psychologist appointed in dealing with the athletes, performance athletes, professional psychologists for sport persons, it was first introduced or appointed in the USA to cater the Los Angeles Olympic contingents in the 1984 Olympic Games. So this is the initiation of appointing an outstanding psychologist or professional psychologist to deal with different issues of the participant athletes who are representing the USA contingent in the 1984 Los Angeles Olympics. And hereafter, different countries, the sport persons and sport administrators, athletes across the world, they felt that they need the help of psychologists during the competition, after the competition, before competition, and when one is preparing for the competition in coming years. So the human performance, it affects human performance, that is caregivers. The role of a psychologist is like a guardian, caregiver, like others, parents, coaches, sport administrators. So all those provide caregiver in a suitable environment, and the individual's ability, the genetic endowment ability of the individual to perform in a certain sport, that all these three together determine the performance of an athlete in different levels of competitions. So here onward, if we see, there are two types of human performance models. The one is fragmented, partial. The other one is holistic in nature. That means the total in nature. The fragmented model or partial model differently considers biological human being, psychological human being, sociological human being. So given emphasis on any of the three of the human existence, when it is dealt with the athletes, but the holistic model, that is biopsychosocial in nature. And we all know that performance, it is the multiplication of the two basic components, that is the skill in sport and the motivation of an individual. So it is the product of skill and motivation of an individual. So how much one is motivated. So two of the performance components are having relationship among themselves. If skill is low, high motivation, it won't work. And if motivation is low, skill is high, it won't work. So both of them should reach the highest level. That means the optimum level of an individual, considering the genetic endowment and environment condition of an individual. So the major psychological and obviously the social aspect of an individual that considers the personality of the player. The personality of the player, and we all know that different sport requires different type of personality, and personality development happens through sport, because we know that right from the very beginning of one's life, a child, when it borns, it is asocial. So socialization happens through different social interactions, situations. So games and sport is another component which add value in personality development right from the beginning of an individual. Motivation is another very important aspect to deal with the sport participants' point of view. Causal attribution, that is a very important aspect. We will come into detail of causal attribution hereafter. Stress, anxiety, we know. Psychological preparation, or major focus of today's topic is psychological preparation and the social psychology. That means the society where the person lives in. So sport and sport performance is the outcome of social behavior, not only the individual behavior outcome, it is the outcome of social behavior. There are some societies, they are very much fond of sport. The sporting nation, we always tell them, we are having huge population, but how many of our youngsters, the percentage of population among our youngsters taking part in sport in its different form, that is a big question. But we are having the number of huge absolute number in any segment of our age group. So this is a very important thing, is that though the less percentage of our population participating in games and sport, but the absolute number is very high. So their psychological preparation is a very important aspect. So personality of the player, we know that there are two types of personality of a player. Some are traits, that means relatively permanent in nature, and the personality states, that means the instant situation of an individual. It varies, state personality type varies according to different situation, it varies, but trait is relatively permanent. It is not absolutely permanent, but it is relatively permanent in nature, trait, personality. And there are lots of theories of personality types, factors, all those things. Those are there in terms of dealing with an individual, and a psychologist is the person who can handle the person in terms of the personality. And side by side, measuring the personality of an individual, he can classify the person. And the performance personality relationship is there, and there must have some cognitive interaction. That means the performance and its cognitive, that means the intelligence, thinking, reasoning, all those things have to be intermingled, have to be realized by the athlete himself or herself. That is very important. And how this realization happens? This happens through the psychologist. When psychologist is acting as a facilitator who, having the knowledge of human behavior and the causes of human behavior, genetic endowment ability of human behavior, who deals with the athlete as an experienced person and as a person with knowledge to shape an asocial individual to a very good human being with the psyche, those are very effective, which is very effective for successful performance as an athlete. So from here we can classify the personality characteristics of an individual, that some unstable and stable are the two ends of the spectrum. And we know that some people are very extrovert in nature and some are very introvert in nature. Now see, who are the very suitable person? in majorly in different games and sport, the stable extroverts. Unstable extroverts are not. Sometimes we consider unstable extrovert as the very good personality of an individual, but if the extrovert nature of an individual is unstable, it won't provide sufficient information to plan an athlete's program, because the inconsistency component of the individual, he or she will adhere and he or she will not follow the consistent and persistently the program, athletic training program for 6 to 8 years, which I had mentioned at the very beginning of this talk. And the opposite side of the stable extrovert persons, there are the persons, those are pessimistic, loner, those are very much feeble-minded, cautions, panicky type of persons. So this group of people, as they are not stable in their personality, so they are not maintaining they cannot maintain their motivation for a longer duration of 6 to 8 years, less amount of patience among themselves. Negative-minded people always find the negative aspects around him. So it forbids the person to go through the training schedule for long duration of 6 to 8 years. And what we are talking about the athlete, if it requires for an academician, for any field of human endeavor, it requires nearly 6 to 8 to 10 years of rigorous training and learning program, apart from the athletic preparation. So it is seen that the stable extrovert person, because the extrovert persons are very social skill is very important in sport performance. Good, they are good adjusted with the society, bonded very much strongly bonded with family, good relationship with the peer groups, good relationship with the team members, the caregivers. So all those things provide them a positive input for improving their performance and maintaining their performance and maintaining the social relationship as a whole in the life. So impatient people, neurotic patient are risk taker, but they are impatient and reckless. Already I had mentioned. So these are the dimensions of personality Eysenck in 1967 propounded. So these are the spectrums. Now the motivation is very common to common topic to us, and we commonly use this term in any field of human endeavor, progress in life. So 6 broad physical activity participation motives. What are the motives behind participation in sport and obviously in performance sport? So social sport as a social experience. Some people take part in sport as maintaining health and fitness. Some people as risk taker. Different risky sport activities we see. We see that surfing, parachute dropping, or different type of adventure sport. So they are the risk takers, mountaineering. So some are having aesthetic experience. So the experience of beauty or showing in a very good manner. If we see that the skill of Roger Federer, that is the aesthetic aspect of presentation of the skills in that particular sport. Tension reduction. Some people used to take part in games and sport for tension reduction. And ascetic experience. Some people are hard training. Some people, they require hard training to satisfy their need. So this group of people are very important. If they are given hard training, they like it and they adhere the program and they excel through this program of hard training for longer duration. Added 3 reasons for participation in games and sport are pursuit of victory. Some people intend to see them victor. winner, experiencing winning. So it is a very important component of competition sport or performance sport. Demonstration ability, demonstrating the skill or capability before the opponent. Some people, some sport persons have seen that they are to some extent reluctant, not fully reluctant, to some extent reluctant in the training schedule programs, but they are very much different in the game situation. So they enjoy to perform their skills and ability in front of the spectators and others. And some people are competitive in nature. According to their nature, they competition oriented, they experience competition, they want to see going through a very challenging situation and to overcome the challenges and to experience the thrill of the challenge in their life. So these are the very important things, and anxiety and the performance relationship is there. If the anxiety is too high, the performance will not be very good. And if the anxiety is too low, again, the performance will not be very good. So there must have some optimum level of anxiety. So optimum level of anxiety is very conducive for performance. But for according to task, the anxiety level should be different. If the task is very difficult, if the task is very complex and the anxiety level is very high, say for example, taking a penalty shot in tiebreaker after a 90-minute regulation and 30-minute extra time regulation football match, if the arousal level is too high during this complex task, there might be chance of error is very high. But if the task is very simple, task is very low arousal, it requires low arousal level. So in that case, the performance is high when the arousal level requires high for simple tasks. So it is very evident that during simple tasks, the performance high arousal level is necessity. Otherwise, it will make unforced error. It is seen that many unforced error because due to low arousal level in a simple task. But in a complex task, it requires low arousal level for better performance. So achievement motivation is another thing we know all. So there must have some achieving success, two factors, that dedication, work attitude, desire to win, and the other factors are to avoid failure. That means if negative motive, if avoid failure it is high, it will definitely detrimental for performance. Competition avoidance. So the people who are always avoid competition, they will won't develop themselves through competition and build their psychic ability, psyche, good for their progress in performance enhancement, and defensive strategy is very high. So high dedication, high attitude, high desire to win, it achieves success. And the person, some people, they take part in games and sport to avoid failure. And the people, they are the winners, those strive for excellence, that is to achieve success. So there are some personal factors, that is motivational factors, readily subject to change, and motivational factors not readily subjected to change. Situational factors, some factors are very much requires based on the base of situation. We are going through the COVID pandemic situation. So it is a very important phase of everybody's life, where the life of every individual across the world has been affected. But this, in the similar situational condition, two persons are not reacting the environment in the same way. The reaction difference of the two individuals are due to the personal factors having the same situational components. So these are the individuals' motivation condition So where two factors are to be considered very strongly. So now there is very one thing, that self-confidence, how to build self-confidence among the athletes. That is the self-efficacy model. That means success, failure, vicious cycle propounded by self-efficacy, propounded by Albert Bandura. To redefining success, that means the cognitive restructuring is very important, which I had told the cognition among the athletes. The vicious cycle of success. Whenever a player is getting success, this success is motivating the individual to take part in and adhering the training schedule of 6 to 8 year rigorous training program. It enhancing the self-confidence of the individual. But if the player gets failure at the very beginning of one's career, and when this failure time and again establishing the belief system of the individual that he or she is becoming failure, this again, whenever she is going in the same training program, the two players in the training camp, one is experiencing failure and the another one is experiencing success. The two individuals' vicious cycle of success and failure, providing them the self-confidence in two different dimensions. One becoming more self-confident and the another one is becoming losing their self-confidence. So it is the redefining success, that means cognitive restructuring, the implanting the thought process of the athlete, that is the psychic development of the individual. So toward competitive orientation, how to orient the athletes in a psychological way toward the process of, that means to focus on mastery of the skill, not the focus on the result which is instantly at present happening. So if the coach, if all the technical supporting persons and caregivers motivate the individual and restructuring the thought of the athlete, that whatever skills you had produced in the last session, you are bettering than the last session, whatever may be the result of you, we are more focused about the product than the process. So we should be process oriented, or we should be focused on the mastery of skills and communication skills and motivation, or handling the psychological makeup of an individual. So what I was talking about, causal attribution, it requires two different components or variables. That means common sense. We are having some common sense, how people around us see and interpret us, and the perception of success and failure. As an athlete or as an individual, how do I feel about success and failure? So it is the perception behind the actions of an individual. And causal attribution and achievement, there are two things. In the same continuum, the two persons look the success or failure in two different ways. A group of people having internal locus of control. So what is internal locus of control? Whenever a person becomes failure, he analyzes himself or herself that what are the things where I can improve myself. In the same team, his or her teammate is analyzing what are the problems that came in the form of experience from the outside, which resulted as failure, and I had to succumb to the failure. So these people are having external locus of control. The person having high locus of control, they are having high achievement motivation. The person having less external locus of control, high group of people, their achievement motivation low, controlling system and their belief system is very low, accept and appropriate responsibility of their actions low, their self-reliance is low, their trait anxiety level is low, unstable. On the other side, the internal locus of control people, their high achievement motivation, they believe in themselves very high, accept appropriate responsibility. Not always they take the responsibility of their own. Appropriate responsibility. Analyze the situation properly. What are the things they are in their control and what are the things those who are not in their control, and they are comparatively stable trait of anxiety. Attribution and expectancy. Expected outcome is proportional to stable attribution. So unstable attribution won't give expected outcome. It will give erratic outcome success and failure. So from here, learned helplessness develops. Learned helplessness, it is a maladaptive behavior of an individual where the failure of an individual time and again and the external locus of control without the support system or the caregivers, it develops illogical belief system in an athlete, and he or she believes that I do not possess sufficient genetic characteristics or hereditary characteristics, or if my father or parents would have more rich, I would have get huge amount of money or so other factors. It leads an individual to the condition of learned helplessness. So what is an example of learned helplessness? A child, when he or she is sent to the nursery schools, every parent expects that a school have a class having 40 intake or number of students, every child's parent expecting that his or her word will speak fast. It is impossible because there might have very good students and the pace may be vary in different examinations, but it is to observe whether the student is interested in studies, whether the student is interested in taking part in games and sport, whether it is coming from his own or whether he is copying others' actions, following others, he or she is compelled to do the actions as it is suggested or guided by the elders. So that is very important. Whether he or she is putting his or her 100% effort out of his interest. That is very important. Otherwise, we learn helplessness will grow from the very childhood of an individual, and examination fear, competition fear develops from this learned helplessness. If a sprinter is having 100-meter sprinter is having the ability to perform in 10.34, so we cannot force him. If it is his or her maximum ability, we cannot force him or her to run within 10. So if we exaggerate him or her that you have the quality to reduce your time, so after a certain period of time, he won't be motivated with the same word and training procedure of the caregivers. So it will ultimately develop him in the condition of learned helplessness, though he or she is an international athlete, not a child like the nursery boy I had mentioned earlier. So strategies for development of adaptive achievement pattern, that is attribution retraining. We can retrain, we can reattribute his thought process, and goal-oriented training program. Specific goal-oriented small obstacles we can provide him in front of him, and goal-oriented training program we can provide him. And teaching coping skill, how to cope with the adverse situations. And attribution and superstitions are there, that means lucky dress, lucky shoes, all those things are the attribution maladaptive behavior. So we can get rid of the athletes this kind of thought process through proper psychological counseling and psychological guidance. And here is attribution and outcome. If the ego involvement is very high, so self-serving bias comes. So always self-serving bias means, these are the very technical term, that means to justify one's failure with suitable reasons. That means ego defense mechanism. You know, this is the proponent of Sigmund Freud, that whenever I am not getting success, that my age is hindrance to success. My age is not sufficient enough to do this. My age is sufficiently more to do these things. My height is not sufficient enough to do this thing. So some kind of justification comes from the athlete's end. Ultimately, self-serving bias hindrance the athlete's performance and the training program and the progression in his or her training and athletic or his professional career. So attributions and motivations, intrinsic motivation is very effective. That means the motivation which comes from within, the winning attitude, exploring oneself, taking the challenge, so to see as the winner. These things are the intrinsic motivation, but the extrinsic motivation, it is short-timed and very weak. Extrinsic motivation, if I do this thing, I will get a promotion. So if I will not be able to reach more than that, and when I had got the promotion, I have no other motivation behind me. Even we are when we take part in government service. So after taking part in government service, we cannot figure out our next goal. So our motivation, we can't motivate ourselves in our work. So in our everyday work, we need to set a goal, and that motivation, that to achieve that realistic goal, the motivation will work as the driving force among us. So it will come from within. It cannot be made by order, made by very good suggestion, made by going through very books. It should come. Success, the mantra of success is the willingness to win, is to come from the within. And the concept of stress and anxiety, it is state and trait anxiety, it is mediated by complex psychobiological process, all we know. So anxiety can be handled in a better way. It is Hans Selye's theory, we know that, and already I have earlier mentioned that the best performance area is that it is shaded area in the blue graph, the area of best performance. And boredom, low pressure zone, it is low performance area, and high stress, high anxiety, it is again low performance area. So optimum function zone of stress is very important. Always stress is not bad. Some kind of stress is essential for better attention of an individual and preparation of biochemical preparation and systematic preparation of an individual. Systematic here, I do mean that the systems, endocrine system, muscular system, circulatory system, all the systems of the body. So here, this is the trait, how trait anxiety, state anxiety relationships are there. It is related. Now, measuring anxiety, anxiety can be measured and it has to be measured. So otherwise, psychological preparation of the player, that means relaxation procedure, progressive relaxation technique, hypnosis, cognitive strategies, imagery, goal setting, what I was talking about, intervention programs, stress management technique, sign up strategies, goal setting, team talk, fun support. These are essential. Attention focus training, that means how one keeps one's focus to a particular training program, particular small amount of small techniques or small, very small aspects of correcting one's skills and refining one's skills, refocusing. Always we are to refocus, and a new focus has to set time and again in the course of progression. And self-defeating thought. We always talk ourselves more than any other persons. And what we talk when we talk to ourselves. So if we are talking about us or with us as a negative person, as a defeating person, so it will lead ultimately the behavior of a defeated person. And the person is sure to be defeated in future days or coming days. But if we talk ourselves with ours as the winner, as to win the every goal and to reach the every goal, we will be a positive person, and definitely our behavior and actions, thought and actions will be in a positive direction. So social psychology, it deals with aggression, team cohesion, crowd effects, leadership in sports. All we are very much aware, to some extent aware. So emotion, causal attribution, all are interconnected for motor performance. You see performance outcomes where emotion, causal attribution, locus of control, stability of personality, control of one's behavior. So emotion, expectation, emotions, again, from different side, it comes to perform the motor performance to the highest level. So what is the role of sports psychologist? To bring the athlete at the highest level of one's functioning, what the athlete can achieve, if the person is able to carry 60 kilogram to his most wholehearted effort, we should not put the pressure more beyond the 60 kilogram. It will be detrimental to his not only athletic performance but the total career and life. So we should consider that. So what are the futuristic thought? That is the knowledge part. There are two things very important, that restructuring thought of an individual, one should learn different skills, and skill begins from the cognitive part of the individual. So imaging of the skill in the brain, this is the cognitive part. So, and the another thing is execution of the skill. So lack of understanding of proper instructional techniques by the caregivers. So we should provide sufficient instruction and the methodological aspect. So how that training program is materialized, functional by the athlete himself or herself, taking the case on the ground really.
Sir, your mic is mute, sir. Please unmute, sir.
Sir, excuse me, sir. Your mic, please unmute your mic. The speaker should unmute the mic.
Sir, can you hear? Hello? Sir, your mic is off, sir. Okay, sir.
The psychological preparation, it deals with major three things: that reaching highest performance of the athlete, whichever age is suitable for a particular sport. Second one is maintenance of the performance to the maximum level, lengthening or enhancing the career duration. And third one is very important, dual development. Many times we have seen that after career, the athletes in the society are neglected. They feel neglected in the society because when they are preparing themselves during their teenage, they had not learned any other activities through which he can earn a livelihood in the society. So it is the very important issue at present to develop a dual career of the athletes throughout the world. It is a burning issue that dual career development is very necessary. So after sporting career, one can get another vocation or job. She can do a business, can be an entrepreneur, can do a job, very good job, a professional. So these are the very important things in psychological preparation of an athlete. Otherwise, whenever he or she will be in the end of his or her career, he will think that I have some amount of money, or I have spent 10, 15, 20 years in my life, but after that life, it is a very great uncertainty in spite of my wholehearted devotion during my formation years, more than 20 years or 25 years. So it is a huge motivational loss to that particular individual to be in the society maintaining his expectations and hopes. So now I conclude, sport performance depends on many aspects. Psychological aspect is one of the major aspects. It considers many individual and surrounding factors and features. Developing sport performance is a planned and systematic program. It requires a long duration of at least 6 to 8 to 10 years, depending on the person and the game. Psychological preparation transform an athlete to perform best, to perform long duration, to behave best, to adjust best, to develop a dual career and live the life with satisfaction and happiness. So with these references, I have done this. Thank you all for your patient hearing. So now I am stopping my presentation.
Okay.
I hope that
Thank you very much, sir.
in the time I have completed my talk.
Yes, sir. Very nice presentation, sir. Sir, thank you very much for your edifying, informative, valuable, and educational presentation. I am
It's my
sure.
pleasure and namaskar. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So, sir, I'm sure, sir, that your lecture must enrich our participant and the total athletic community, especially those who are working at the grassroots level, from the national level also. Sir, you have covered all the aspect of psychological preparation of an athlete. Sir, you have covered the anxiety, attitude, motivation, concentration, cognition, stress, etc. before and during and after the competition. So how the personality and behavior has the impact on the performance. Everything you have, sir, covered very nicely. And right now, let me see whether there is no everybody appreciate your lecture. I think, as I have said, that we are enriched with your lecture. So from my side and on behalf of the organizing committee, sir, you have received only just with a phone call my invitation. So I am very thankful to you. From your busy schedule, you have managed the time. I know to be the head, what a headache and panic such things are there, because semester linkage is there. So, and during this, especially this pandemic situation, I am also expecting your kind help and assistance in future also for the sports community, sir. Stay well and careful to yourself and your family, and fight against COVID-19. Thank you, sir, very much, sir.
Thank you all
Okay.
my colleagues and learned ladies and gentlemen who have listened me patiently for a long duration. I am very much delighted, and I am very much thankful to you all, the organizers of Mizoram University, and all the persons who are present right now or who had been joined here. From my side, I am wishing you all and very happy and healthy life. during this COVID pandemic. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now let's see what shall we do with coaching, officiating, and psychological knowledge of athletics. All these are useless until and unless we know how and where to use this knowledge. We are working in different level to give the nice gift of athletic performance to our country. Means properly we have to use the knowledge. When we talk about knowledge, it means the gathering of data. Data means the information. And the information is the fact or reality. And fruitfully using the reality in a particular environment gives the skill. So until and unless we are skillful, means only knowledge is not enough. We have to be skillful. When knowledge is combined with those things and we use it in the proper way, then we are skillful. So in everywhere, you are not skillful, so you did not deserve this one. Or you are not skillful, so you did not deserve that one. You may be the knowledgeable. So in that way, we have to be skillful. So in our daily class of coaching or training, knowing or unknowingly, we all are organizer in that sense. So to be a good organizer in different level, we will go through the topic of promoting and organizing the athletics, especially at the intercollege level. So let me introduce our beloved sir, Professor Ashim Kumar Bose, who is having 34 years of teaching experience, including 10 years of administrative experience as a principal in Government Postgraduate Training College of Physical Education, Banipur, West Bengal. Sir has the experience of having the leadership of the only one sports school in West Bengal since 2001 to 2005, 4 or 5. Sir was also the dean of the ICFI University, Tripura, after his formal retirement. So over to Professor Ashim Kumar Bose. Sir, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hello.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good
You are audible and visible.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone needs to be seen, whether it is visible or audible. Any option.
Yes.
However, hope everybody is okay. And see, the area of which I am going to talk over here today is the promotion and development of athletics at intercollegiate level. So there are two parts of it. One is promotion and development of athletics at intercollegiate level is the second part. And I will concentrate my work, my thought, my talk, particularly the lecture, oriented particularly on northeast states, as because this is the state of Mizoram. It falls under north state, and we also belong to the plain area where particularly these sort of problems we don't face normally. Lots of problems. So the intercollegiate, we all know what is intercollegiate competitions and all. Particularly this intercollegiate gives a common platform for us, for the students, for the teachers, to gather in a particular place to while the students participate in the activities. And then when the students participate in their activities, particularly why we go there, we just give their guidance, we give guidance to them. We show them the way, through which they will be a good performer in the next few years to come. That is a common platform that we provide them. And particularly this intercollegiate tournament, suppose somewhere it is athletics, somewhere it is football, or somewhere it is weightlifting, archery, whatever it may be, whichever college is organizing or getting the opportunity to organize, that college, they will have much more work to perform, so that the competitions, the organizations, the entire work are performed in a nice or magical manner. So that way, the responsibility to the organizing college or university or the department it's considers a lot. So we also consider that. But really on the other way, we also see the students who are all coming with us whom we are accompanying, they also behave in a particular way because they are all sports persons. Secondly, that gives a opportunity for exchange of cooperations. Students of one particular college also cooperates with others, because we have seen that at inter-university level, when triple jumper got his running shoe torn off, and the other triple jumper from other university just provided him his own one. So that way the cooperation also builds up in the field, in the sports area, which we normally don't see in the classroom also. And secondly, with that, it also develops a rivalry. Rivalry that denotes means directly that will not involve the students to direct fight or all, but it's a rivalry means it's a competition where equally equipped individual, they compete in a particular fashion, and of course with their toils and efforts they perform their best so that anybody can come first or anybody can come second, like that. So cooperation and rivalry, these also are the boon of intercollegiate competitions. That is the supremacy over the others. Supremacy over the others means, that doesn't mean that previously in the Olympics we used to have in the ancient Olympics, that the one boxer, he keeps on hitting the other until the blood comes out and until there is no responses from the body. Or that means the other rival boxer, he falls down on the ground and there will be no movement at all. Until then, up to that end, the other boxer who is having the much more strength and power, he keeps on boxed him. And finally, the other people from the village of that boxer, they will carry him up and take him out of the stadium. So that supremacy we don't say, but supremacy means super performance. Supremacy of performance means one record was established in the previous years, and this year either one of the athlete or performer, he supersedes that or creates a new record. That is the supremacy. So here are the opportunity the students, they get the opportunity to represent their own college. Representing the own college denotes something more, because one individual will be getting selection for football or archery or kabaddi, kho-kho or something like that. But it's an honor for the individual to be selected and representing his own college, right? That will give him another further boost up, because his own classmates, they will come and say, they will wish him good luck, because he will be going to represent his college at the first time. And the years to come, if that individual, he involves in the sports activity and getting him much more fitter than others, so that individual will also be highly motivated, because just before Professor Bridha was saying intrinsic and extrinsic motivations and all, so that sealed his performance. That sealed his performance. Always, when he goes to sleep, when he goes for talking, when he goes for any tour or all, but always he will remember his competitions, his performance and all. So that way he gets him motivated, own motivation he comes, and his friends and other circuits or family members, they also motivates him. So that is the main thing that we should give the individual or the sports person or the students, that he himself will get motivated by way of participating in different level of competitions as he matures up in the time to come. Secondly, he will have the opportunity to be selected if he gets a position in the intercollegiate competitions, to be selected in the university team. So that university team which will go for participating in the inter-university tournaments. And eventually, if that university particularly does well, if the team is very good and perform well up to the final level, so there will be further opportunity for the individual to be selected as one of the members for the Indian university team. That is the combined university team. What this combined university team, that means he will be representing the entire university of the country, one of the as a member of the particular sports, and he will be participating in the FISU tournament, FISU, the World University Tournaments. So this is the ultimately objectives through which participating in the intercollegiate competitions, he may go up to that world level. Actually, what we want, how do we give this opportunity or this motivation or this pep talks to the students? How can we motivate them? That is the main problem. See, whenever the students come to the college, he is already some extent, he is already mature. And he has already left his earlier years where he never participated in any tournaments. But there are instances that people have come to the college and then participated in the Rovers Cup or the Durand tournaments after entering into the college. But there are instances that when they when they entered in the college, and after entering the college, they had participated in different tournaments and then finally got selected for the Indian team and participated in the different international competition. There are instances. But we have to see that those instances, those performances, they never stay longer because the foundation is very weak. So one individual has to have the good foundation work from the early years of development. That early years of development, it starts from the school or from home. That's the thing. So before going for the brief history, I'll just go through the brief history of this intercollegiate tournaments. Of course, through Wikipedia, there is no such instances that when this first intercollegiate tournaments started. But previously, before 1922 or so, some universities had their competition in the literary work or in the debate competitions, inter-university debate competition with 2 or 3 universities. They joined together and given the opportunity to the students to go for this. And now, and then finally, another instance shows in the history that in 1928, Inter-University Athletic Board established. Inter-University Athletic Board. That means IUAB. That was with the approval of Inter-University Board of India. This board was formed. The board organized some isolated tournament that time. I mean, here and there, some small tournaments were there and organized some isolated tournaments, and then in different games with different universities. Like we play, this college is playing with the other colleges, and that college is playing with the other colleges. Like that, university, there were not much colleges. So there are certain universities which organize some isolated tournaments with the and send their students to play and participate in the tournaments. After a long journey, the Inter-University Board of India, they started inter-university tournaments. So after, say, about 1940-41, the first inter-university tournament started in India. And different games in the year, see, 1940-41 means you can imagine that, and the first tournament was held in athletics, hockey, and tennis. Dhaka University was included. Then, particularly the Punjab University, the oldest university, they also participated in that. Even the University of Ceylon, Sri Lanka, they were also among the within this under the flag of this Inter-University Board. If we just turn our page and go through the earlier history also, there in intercollegiate sports in USA, that is the oldest one. See, in 1852, it's a long back. In 1852, first the inter-college rowing was held in USA, and particularly in Chicago. As the sports emerged like football and basketball, more rules were framed by the organizers, and constantly there had been a change in the rules, and participants also adapted with those rules. But what happened, particularly we see in football, football is played between two teams, but sometimes the spectators, they also come to the ground and play. That means same thing happened during that time, and a lot of injuries and accidents were held, and it started. It always there had been a lot of incidents where injuries and this sort of accidents were held, and mass mobbing was also held. So the vice chancellors, they were very much aggrieved, and they said no, there will be no competitions. Finally, President of White House, he has to take his hand and he has to say, okay, all the vice chancellors were called on, and the president was Theodore Roosevelt, who said no, nothing like that. We have to consider this. The tournaments will be held, and during each of all the teams of the universities, they will be coming and they will perform in an organized manner. So the Intercollegiate Athletic Association, one association was formed under his leadership, and that association, he was given all the rights to look after the intercollegiate athletics in the USA. So finally, NCAA, you must be well informed about this National National Intercollegiate Athletic Association, National Collegiate Athletic Association, that was formed in 1906, which also had some obligations and rule of authority. That way, the entire athletic competition started being held. This NCAA had certain rules which we don't have. We don't have like that. We have Association of Indian Universities, but particularly to control the intercollegiate athletics, we don't have that type of association. That's why the performance from USA, they are from the collegiate level. You'll be surprised to know that this NCAA, they administer the entire intercollegiate competitions, drop the competition, fix up the venues and the eligibility rules, rules for competition, everything they settle. Nothing will be set by the college authority. So in 1921, they conducted its first national championship events. This NCAA, they conducted national championship means for the colleges. That is the national championship event they had. And gradually, this was extended its jurisdiction over intercollegiate competitions of other sports and their college associations. And their college associations means, see, it will also be, we also surprised to know, because now there is an intercollegiate competition of teachers, of faculties. The faculties, they also come and participate in the sports competitions. It's a basketball, shooting, and archery. Now it is there. So in 1952, it began live telecast. 1952, the NCAA started its live telecast of the competitions that was being held. That is the football, because they wanted to minimize the number of spectators to come on the ground. So they will see the tournaments through television only. So that was a restricted pattern. So now you can understand what sort of the temperament it used to be. So this NCAA also functions as a general legislative and administrative authority for men and women sports also. Not only men, but men and women. So they are the legislative, they frame the rules, and they had the authority to decide over all problems that comes on the field and outside the field also. And then it supervises, even its supervisors, they used to go to the regional level and also at the national level. They are supervisors, nominated supervisors of NCAA. They used to go to supervise that how the games are being organized and whether there is any pitfalls or any difficulties in organizing or so. So these were the very nice thing, and mostly it is that conducted nearly about this NCAA conducted about more than 100 national championships for intercollegiate national championships up to 1968. Up to 1968, this NCAA, under the supervision of NCAA, more than 100 national intercollegiate competitions were held. Now, here is one thing is there are instances where good players may not get selection for the university, and other players who may be equally or somewhat a bit better than him. Now, this player who has not got the selection, so he will have to wait for another year to be selected or nominated for the university team in the particular game. But this NCAA, because of NCAA at America, this has been minimized. Everybody will have equal opportunity, equal performance, near equal performers. They will also be having the opportunity to play for the tournaments, play in the national championships and get selected. So that way, whatever we have seen in the under 20 or under 22 or 26 tournaments in the national or international tournaments, where every participant, if we just touch him and say from which college you are, he will say from this college, whether it is Victoria College or San Francisco College or Miron's College, whether it is Iraq in Baghdad or Tehran or in Asia or wherever it is, they all belong from the university level. Even the NCA has given this opportunity for them, and that way all the athletes are registered under NCAA. Let us come to the topic now. I said that I will be restricted my talk within the Northeast regions with a very limited knowledge, and whatever I just have, I just want to share with you. See, there are 7 or 8, if you include Sikkim, so North will become the 8 states. So that way, almost about 30 to 32 universities are there in all. And all the universities, most of them are central universities. Okay. There are states where hardly one university or other private universities are there. One central university or other private universities are there. There are states, there are a number of government colleges are there, and side by side there are private colleges also. Colleges, there are medical colleges, there are engineering colleges, privately managed or managed by the state. State universities are also there, central universities are also there. So as we know that the functionaries and the administrative work are not equal for all the universities. This is not similar. So that way the funding is very important for all these universities. Whether it is a central university, if it is a central university, they get the assistance directly from the center. If it is a state university, they get the financial assistance from the state. Private universities, they acquire and raise their funds through students' contribution or somewhere. So this way, whatever amount or functions or the fund they have, within that limited resources, they develop their entire university campuses, they develop their classroom functions, and also side by side, they also try to develop, except the central universities, some of the sports facilities and equipments, acquire the sports equipments. So that will be given to the students. Moreover, at the university level, not at the college level, at the university level, university will have their facilities or may have their facilities, but those facilities, even the university students who studies in university, they don't utilize it, but somewhere it is lying like that as an infrastructure on the ground. But at the college level also, if we just go through that, because I'm just concentrating my work, once again I'm saying the Northeast. At the college level also, there may be some of the equipments, good equipments at different colleges. There may have some of the gymnasiums, halls, and indoor halls with certain facilities. But which facility, that will come afterwards. I'll come afterwards. But the students, they are hardly seen to use those facilities. Why? Sometimes we say that facilities are not available, so the students don't utilize it. But when facilities are there, students don't go to the gym or go to the indoor hall to play. Hardly they go for recreational purpose, play TT, play badminton, throw the racket over there or goes away. Whatever TT balls are there are not seen. This way, the entire halls and the facilities, they just lie unused. So when we go for selection for intercollegiate tournaments, we just give the notices. Teachers give the notices, please come, because I have got the directions from the AIU that the national competitions will be held during this month. So we will have to organize the intercollegiate tournaments, and he gives all the notification to all the colleges to come and submit their eligibility and then participate in the intercollegiate tournaments. But it is very sorry to say that hardly 200 athletes or participants, they are found in different games and sports, particularly individual sports like Kho, Kabaddi, they will not be seen. Badminton, TT, they will be seen, but not more than 40. But in football, there will be at least 6 to 8 teams, those who comes and play the intercollegiate tournament. So this is a very sad story. So why? So let us go for the further a bit back. It's a popular sport of Northeast states. Which are the popular sports we have seen? How we have seen? You see, football, archery, boxing, gymnastics. These are the major popular sports that are particularly popular at Northeast. So Northeast sports person over the years have developed a habit. They developed a habit, making it big at national, at international level. That means my word may be contradictory. Once I said that hardly students come and practice in the build up facilities, take the advantage of the facilities. And on the other way, I am saying that Northeast people or the sports person, they have proved their worth at the national and international sports event. How it is? Because a positive sports culture in the region has yielded numerous medal winners and world champions who have stamped their authority on the global stage. Like that, say Mary Kom. So I need no explanation regarding that. This is an unofficial sports capital of India. Unofficial, if you say these are the sports capitals of Northeast, unofficial sports capital, that means on the other hand, we are saying that many sports persons, they have represented Northeast at different times in different games and sports. Therefore, this is the powerhouse, we can say, of sports for our country. And that is helping many youngsters and their families to come out of their poverty. So because poverty is one of the major issue at these places. However, because winning the poverty and winning the medals at the national games, that is the main thing. That's the main example in front of us. So if we say MC Mary Kom, boxing, Waichung Bhutia in football, if you include Sikkim here, and then Sarita Devi in boxing, Sanjita Chanu in weightlifting, and then Kunjirani Devi in weightlifting, Jayanta Talukdar archery from Assam, and then Shiva Thapa in boxing, and Hima Das, of course, from athletics. So Deepa Karmakar, gymnastics from Tripura. They are the sports personality. Some of the sports personalities to name over there, they have excelled their performance when they were in the college. So how they have performed well, how their performance came up? Because they have utilized or capitalized the facilities, equipment, and the support from the State Sports and Youth Welfare Department. They have taken the support of SAI Excellency and the coaches from the SAI. Everything they have utilized in their own way in the state capital, and that way they have excelled in their performance. So therefore, though the states are very small in nature, number of population is very less, even though some of the sport persons, those who have represented their states at different occasions, so they have excelled their performance. Some noises. Some noise is coming.
Hello, Ujjwal da.
Okay,
Sir, just a minute.
Hello, Shogato.
Please mute that person.
Okay, thank you.
So if we just go through the population wise, the Northeast constitutes about 4% of the total population. 4% of the total population of India. And the youth are well known for their inclination, as I said earlier, the inclination towards the sports, especially in Manipur. Manipur also, it is a main powerhouse. It's a main powerhouse. And to give a fact of that entire 2000 CO, if I just go through because I have seen the 2016 Rio Olympics, where 7% of the Northeast participants are there. 7% of the total number of contingent. For that, only 7% they represented Northeast. Why it is? Sports is not considered just a physical activity over there. It has become a culture of the states. Cultural heritage, we say, it has become a culture. Whenever a small child grows up, he or she is encouraged to go to the field. Go to the field and play. Though it is very early to set the sun, even though they go and play of their own, get the support from the back. Even if we see the football teams, those who are playing in ISL leagues, you can find out how many people are from Northeast. We can find out how many people are from Northeast and how many from Bengal, how many from Punjab, how many from Bihar, UP, Uttar Pradesh, or Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra. I think the number of players are maximum from Northeast. So it has become a culture, and that is the cultural fruit that we are seeing today on the field. So as of the statistics of 2017, say about 14,000 talented Northeast sports persons, sports youngsters were trained under SAI schemes throughout the country. Throughout the country, about 14,000 talented Northeast sports children. Where do they come? They come from different states of Northeast. And out of that 14,000, 10,000 were boys and 4,000 were girls. Now, this is a very good statistic that has been given by the Indian Association of Science. Out of this 4,000 girl trainees, 910 were trained at Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, Sikkim, and Tripura on residential as well as non-residential basis by the SAI. So therefore, the talent in the talent hunt, lot of people are coming. And when we organize talent hunting program at plain area, hardly we find the people. They don't come under the up to that level. Hardly there are levels that cannot be countable, and we don't count that. But 910 out of 4,000 girls, it is much more than the expected one. One of the 14 SAI regional football academies, 14 SAI authoritated, SAI guided regional football academics in the country, in the Imphal, at Imphal, and government has planned to set up and sign National Archery Academy at Guwahati. So we cannot think of it. And that's why a lot of archers are coming. And these archers, they are not of 40 years of aged people or the 39 years or 30 years. They're all youngsters, affiliated their names to the college, studying at university or colleges. So they are coming. So when these facilities are established, when these sort of facilities are offered to the state people of Northeast, I think a lot of people gets motivation to take the use facilities for their future. According to 2016 case study, which was published at International Education and Research Journal, Assam and Manipur already have synthetic athletic tracks, and all-weather all-weather fitted football field, that is AstroTurf or synthetic rubber surfaces. This Northeast belt have good number of sports persons from corporate. They also get the good. These sports persons get the corporate support also, and public sector undertakings also. So therefore, there are financial flow behind their performance, thus helping to promote sports in the region. So this is the main region. So performance will be given by the sports person. Facilities will have to be provided by the government, and the backbone, that is the finance, has to be given by any authority. So one family cannot afford, like Leander Pace. Government has no role. Government has provided the facilities, but his family has given support to him for excellence and up to that extent. But in case of Mama or the Mizoram player who is well known, the government has supported him. He has played his own and excellent performance. So that way, there are lot of examples. There are types of sports activities that are to be provided by the university, to be provided by the colleges. College will have to offer numerous types of activities so that students get motivated, and the college authority has to say that these are the provisions are there. So you have to take use of this. So Northeast sports person are setting new benchmarks. So that way benchmark, and due to the motivation they receive from the early years of their life, 82.77% of the people of Northeast states believe. It's very nice data. 82.77%, almost more than the thing what we expect, that the sports of that region has curbed the menace of drug addiction, HIV, alcoholism, and terrorism activities. So sports has is an instrument to curb the menace of these bad habits. And the people of these places, most of the people, most of the students, many of the sports persons have left that area and come to the ground, have come to the ground for excellence in their performance, and they have proved it. They have proved it, because that is the main problem with the Northeast setup. Even champions have given back. When the champions, these champions whom I have taken the name, like Mary Com, like Baiching also is there. So these champions, when they have excelled in the international competition, they have come back to their state, and they felt that I should give something to my family, to my community also. So they have set up academies. So by seeing them as a model of their life, many of the youngsters, they are coming and joining the academies in boxing, archery, football, and other activities also. So this is very important in that respect. And now, if we just go through this, what are the sports facilities are there? See, if we just go see this thing in Arunachal Pradesh, there are indoor halls, water sports is there, sports schools are there, though it is not in a very good form. In Mizoram, there are synthetic athletic track is there with artificial turf, sports school provision is there, football field is there, indoor halls are there for boxing, badminton, and volleyball. So these facilities are there existing. And even in Aizawl is one of the venue of this thing, Federation Cup and all. So these are the places. Even in ISL, people, and all the big teams, they used to come there and play, but hardly you will find any. Hardly you will find spectators. Because the time in which these games are being held, because and the teams come and they go and play, and then go off. So not only much spectators are not seen, but if it is a gala functions, it's a gala type of competitions, and it's a tournaments at the high level, then lot of people from the villages also, they also come and see the field of the galleries and everyone, and encourage their teams. Even Aizawl FC is there. So that way, but Arunachal FC is not there. In Agartala, there is a sports school. There is a good school, big schools. Stadiums are there, 8 districts, synthetic athletic tracks, gym, astroturf, football ground, a lot of things, tennis and all. So these have been developed in the North states. Or even in Assam, there are stadium of aquatic complex is there, then the indoor stadium is there, hockey stadium is there, then shooting range is there in Assam, boxing, fencing, cricket stadium is also there. So lot of facilities have been established there. In Manipur, football, size small area games, then boxing, national sports universities have been established over there, weightlifting, volleyball, gymnastics, cycling, velodrome, athletic stadium, swimming pool, everything have been existed. In Nagaland, there is the badminton TT stadium, and then sports academy is there. Khelo India, that is the venue for 2020, then June probably. And in Sikkim, there are popular sports, skiing, river rafting, water sports, paragliding, and mountaineering. This sort of things are adventure sports are favored in Sikkim. In Meghalaya also there is archery, TT, boxing, volleyball, TT. These are the things. So if you see the gist of it, so every state have developed, established, and they possess particularly lot of sports facilities, lot of so that the students of that community, of that places, of that states can use them for their sporting performance and excel this at the national or international level. But the saddest story is that when you see the intercollegiate tournaments, hardly the students they get motivated and they come. Why? Because intercollegiate tournaments, the venues, they cannot provide that sort of or that type of facilities. But sometimes there are universities, even the universities of that particular state, they organize their intercollegiate tournament at the cities where good facilities are available. Students can stay in the hostel, they can play for their colleges and get selected for the university team. There are provisions. They spend their fooding, lodging, everything. So particular those type of activities like football, that may be organized and people loving it, they will be coming for that. But Kho-Kho Kabaddi, you will not get it. So whatever the activities are favored or sin, if we see through the sports training concept, whether it is gymnastics, whether it is weightlifting, whether it is boxing, whether it is mountaineering or adventure sports, judo, the main component is strength. And in particular, the strength endurance. If strength endurance is considered and if it is believed that the Northeast sports persons or the students, they are fond of challenging, they are fond of challenging and use their body weight, use their body strength at different types of activity. So it is to be taken into granted that strength endurance dominated activities must be popularized and given much more importance for promotion and development at Northeast state. So excluding, if we see the women football and the hockey for men, that is also popular, much more popular in Manipur and also. So when we see this and archery, along with the archery also. So considering football and hockey, that also demands a strength and speed. And if speed is the main component, then we have to go back to the Assam, where Hima Das, who has already excelled in the under-20 IAAF World Championship. So there are people who have excelled in different levels of competitions. They are affiliated to the university and colleges. They participate, but at the intercollegiate level, we want some more people, some more, not few more, much more people. So more the people, more the participants, more will be the selection, more will be the number of activities, more will be the people who will be coming through in participating in different activities. So this is much more important, that where the foundation is to be given, where the foundation is to be laid. Foundation, only the state, only the place where the foundation comes, it's a school, the school environment, where sports, activity, games, movement, education, this is to be made compulsory. There may be some school, missionary schools, where the people come and small children, they go run and play and like that. But that direction is not right. They just come, they play and they go back. Thing is that rightly that they will have to given supervision, and a challenging motivation has to be grown up in their mind, so that they can grow up in a nice fashion and take decisions in a nice fashion and have a disparate quality, but that should lead to a good person. Things that even in Mizoram, if you just see that as the drink is prohibited over there, none of the football players, they drink the. So therefore, the moment they come out of Mizoram, they develop certain bad habits. So keeping them away from the bad habits, drug addiction, and the other places, from going to the other and developing other bad qualities. So these players, they will have to be trained and groomed in a nice fashion. That is the main thing. So until and unless we do it, the entire sports community people, they will be suffered. So the facilities have been developed. People are to be motivated, grooming them from the school level, and this supply line, this supply mechanism has to be improved so that whenever they go to the college level, the moment they step into the college, they develop certain good qualities and participate in the college competitions and represent the college, and then thereby they go to the university, represent their university for their inter-university tournaments. I just want to discuss the facts, whatever I have said there now. So with a very limited resources, compared to the plain areas, people of Northeast have excelled in sports performance, but the resources are mainly available in the city capital. Universities do have certain qualitative facility, but that are utilized for team coaching and training for particular type of team and coaching. NAC accredited colleges have acquired more equipments and facilities, and that are suited to local needs and traditions. The college which have collected equipments and purchased equipment and developed the facilities, they are suited for local needs and traditions. Promoting games and sports at the intercollegiate level needs these facilities not as one-time purchase or development. Should be continuous as like curriculum development. Curricular keeps on developing, always in a process of development. So like that, once I have purchased weight training equipment, okay, that will not perish. But more and more equipment are to be acquired in the days to come, in the years to come. That is much more important. And likewise, the indoor facilities are to be improved. So these colleges will have independent and lucrative arrangement by which students will be motivated. Once again, I repeat the word, the motivation is there. Until and unless they are motivated from within, from himself, from the family, or from the outer source, nothing will be happen. So they are to be motivated to select sports of his or her choice and participate in it. So to be precise, these students of Northeast as compared to plain areas are more inclined to traditional sports, because tradition demands that the youth participate in the traditional sports. So as a mark of their culture, so some of these activities we have seen are resembled, are seen to be much more closer. Looks like there are some movements are like karate, judo, taekwondo. So these sort of movements, this sort of defensive activities that requires a certain movements, those movements are almost resemblance to the traditional activities that are followed at different stages at different Northeast states. So many of the students are found in the national platform competing in these defensive activities from the Northeast. So they represent, many of the students, they represent this defensive, like boxing and other things. So strength dominated events that are being practiced, as because those are practiced at this region. So students or the performers, they are found participating in the national arena, in particular these activities only. As discussed that boxing, weightlifting is liked by the students of this region, therefore more opportunities are required to open for more participation. So more boxing rings are required so that more boxers come out. The strength dominated events where strength endurance play a dominated role enmark these activities. So therefore football has become a cultural pride. It has become a cultural pride. Whenever Ajol's team is playing in the national tournaments or any other competitions, the television will be on in every corner, in every house, because they like football. So it has become is a very common idea. So many colleges and university level players have been enrolled in the national league, we have seen, just because I have said, and represented the country at the international level. The same is true in women football also, because some of the women players have also been found in the international league. The social stigma which restricts at this level at plain areas to go out of their family and play at Kolkata for in football, changing dress at Calcutta Referees Association tents. So these social stigma are minimized, very minimum at North State. Even they are much more open-minded, and so that's why they come out of their home and play with the boys also. So this is also another thing that people come out of their home and play very normally they play, and very enthusiastically they participate in the different games. So more open-minded outlook and literacy level is much more than the plain areas. So this, as because they are much more literate, the level of literacy is much more, and social bondage, strict social bondage is not there. So they participate directly for boxing, they go for weightlifting. So that is the main thing. They keep something more in their mind, not like our plain area people. This is the main thing. To discuss much more there, because the more facilities, the size centers have come, size center of excellence has come forward. So this is also another part that these facilities have been extended to the sports persons. Sponsoring society also made it possible, but in our places sponsoring athlete hardly you will get to promote this. So besides this, there will be much more appreciated if physical education and sport is considered as a curricular subject. It is not there. So physical education and sports science or the sports should be considered as one of the curricular subjects at this region at different colleges, giving them opportunity to read and develop their certain qualities, develop their fitness level, have an idea of the sports theory, have an idea of physical education as an education part and its contribution to the society. General fitness level will also go up along with the other qualities too. The other mental qualities and other qualities will be developed like other subjects. Gymnastics on the other part, it is practiced particularly from Manipur and Tripura. We have seen the more and more gymnasts has come. So why? Because there have been the tradition of gymnastics in Tripura and at Manipur also, like Deepa Karmakar, if you see, and a lot of junior girls and boys are there. So they are also practicing for excellency in their performance. So this is to be much more popularized, and much more opportunity are to be opened in this particular area like Manipur and all. So more and more people, more and more intercollegiate athletics, or from the intercollegiate level, more performers may come out. Besides athletics, these athletics need to be given more attention, because hardly any athlete we find from the northeastern areas. That is negligible number. More and more people. If you see Saraswati Saha from Tripura, and previously we used to have, and I've said Hima Das also. So very few athlete has come out from there, which is also lacking at this moment. So we need to have, as because we have a lot of synthetic track, and also why this will be lying like that, because there are places where synthetic tracks are not available and athletes they are hankering for it. So yeah, if there are synthetic track instead of grass track, so this is to be utilized. So people or the sports persons having good quality, good physical fitness level, they will be encouraged to have that. As I said also, because strength endurance is one of the main positive quality for developing boxing and weightlifting and other things. So as because it is so, keeping the knowledge in mind, we have to encourage more people to participate in javelin throw, discus throw, hammer throw, and putting the shot. So this strength quality can also be developed in a nice fashion. So more and more athletes can be motivated to that extent. Friends, if I said because Manipur is the powerhouse of all sports and all. So because of the boxing, football, archery, weightlifting, and hockey, many sports personalities, they come from Manipur. And we have to look beyond these achievements. Internationally, sports person participating in the Olympics, Commonwealth Games, Asian Games, or European Games, they are from college and university. I have told you. So we need to formulate such program that will yield new generations of sports personalities. Our new program is to be developed. How so? Definitely that this new program for developing, for inviting or encouraging students for intercollegiate participations, new programs through communications, through exchange of ideas, through the talk of the sports personnel of that community, of that level, of that university, those who have represented the university in football or volleyball or basketball, bring them and listen their word, ask them to talk to the students so that they are motivated and utilize the equipments and all. So likewise, the archery people, the adventure sports or the gymnasts, they will be invited time to time and talk to the students and motivate them to participate in the sports activity. Similarly, there are opportunities also to be created for by way of developing facilities also, likewise what we have said, and of course the through seminars and other teachers conferences, the teachers are to be motivated so that they also go to their respective colleges and tell their students. So that way, more and more attention are to be given in the intercollegiate athletics. Running and jumping events, as because fitness is the main criteria, so running cannot be, we cannot forget running. Running has to be there, and jumping for distances, jumping for height. So these are also to be developed through the fitness regime or fitness activities. It is supposed that more events and more will be the events and more will be the participants. We say in a very common cattle. But our motto should be to provide more opportunities, more and more, because badminton is a costlier game. The racket is costlier, the shuttles have become costlier. So the college has to have some fund, provide some fund sometime so that the students can practice. Otherwise, they will come and say that there is no shuttle, there is no TT ball, there is no TT board. So thing is that, so group games are to be encouraged, as well as the individual activities are also to be encouraged. So more the students participate, more will be the college involvement. So college involvement with the student psychology for participation in the sports activity, it is very important. As because UGC is providing a lot of amount, releasing fund in the earlier years also for developing the infrastructures and other things, and purchasing the equipments also. So college has to give those things to the students, release them for the students' participation. If college says no, this is for UGC participation, we cannot give it like that. So this is not fair. This will not be a fair thing. So students are to be engaged in a unified manner. So to understand that what we due to lack of communication, sometimes we also fail in lack of communications. And during inter-college competitions, sir, we have not received the informations. Why? Because the distance from the university itself. So distance also for the venue of competitions. In time, they could not reach to the venue. Sports have started. Then technical support is not available as we get at that plain area. Then coaching and training facilities with the training coaches, technical coaches. This is also not profoundly found, because a lot of coaches are found at these areas. But at hill area, if we find, there are hardly any or very few coaches are there to support them. So this is also one of the restriction or constraints that come on the way. But once the students are motivated, more enthusiasm will come in the matter. Every time I will say that motivation. By saying, see, if you give just a pen to a small child and say you write down, he will write it down. But if you just give him 4 to 5 colored pen, so he will choose this he will use in the morning, that he will use in the afternoon, other one will be using in the evening also. So that will lot of colorful equipments, if it is provided, students' motivation will be improved. So that is much more important. So that way, that improvement of motivation level is to be seen, is to be guided, or always it is to be checked by the teacher itself. So sports promotion in the country is a task of the central government. Promoting sports in the country is the task of the central government. But framing state sports policy is a state task. So state has to perform some task in this respect. State has also certain responsibility. Intercollegiate will be organized by the university, and state will not have anything. So you just see in our state in West Bengal, what is happening? Same in West Bengal. Inter-government college and inter-non-government college sports competitions are held in every year. We have seen for the last few years it is being held nicely at Salt Lake Stadium. Students are coming freely. They are coming, they are given TA, DA, everything, food and facilities, staying, participate. They are participating in athletics, they are participating in football, they are participating in TT and badminton also. So this is the state government under the Director of Education, they are organizing this. Along with that, non-government college competitions are also being held. Government college competition, sports competition is held. Non-government college competition is also being, so it's a state level competitions are also held every year in football, athletics, TT and badminton. So this is in addition to the opportunities of intercollegiate competition. So intercollegiate competitions will also be organized by the university. Along with that, the government college competitions is also being there. So more competitions and students will have more opportunity to verify their performance, to see their level of performance by participating in these competitions. Secondly, they will have the opportunity to represent their college as well as their district in the inter-district competition at the government level. So this is very important. At inter-university or national level, we have seen that number of participants from Northeast are very less. So to increase the number of Northeast students with a good performance level or regular teaching of skills, coaching, training, the university has to develop a department where coaches will be coming and the students, the interested students will be coming and they will participate in the coaching program and learn the skill and then train and then they will be coached by the coaches so that these students can represent their universities in a near future. So until and unless there is no coaching scheme or teaching skills learning or camp, so students activity will not be activated. So that is very much important. So to conclude, I have certain conclusions. Yes, because I have categorized in three parts. One is the foundation work, another is the activation work. Foundation, we have to develop our facilities and supplies. That means balls, rackets, like that. We have to develop our technical support. We have to develop our responsibilities, this sponsorship also, responsibilities as well as the sponsorships also. So these are the foundations: facility development, supplies, sponsorship, and facilities. Our interesting supports. And in the other way, the activation is there. Like this way, the foundation and the activation is that physical education and sports be considered as a compulsory subjects at the curricular level. Department of Sports will have to give much authority and power to supervise the entire inter-college competitions, and opportunities for practical practice and participate in the activity. So opportunities should be there. A student, he comes to the college and says he or she will have the opportunity to practice, and particularly exchange popular games and sports. Exchange popular games, and suppose in a particular area of the university or a particular region, there are a particular sports is very popular. So those sports are to be make popular in a particular other regions. So experts from that region will have to be invited to the region where it is not popular, and they will demonstrate the game, like kabaddi and kho-kho was popularized in the Asian countries through Asian games, because it was demonstrated in the first Asian Games, and then from the consecutive or the next Asian Games onwards, kabaddi and kho-kho become a competitive Asian Games activity. So that way. And the government work is that government has to activate, because Khelo India national program has already been activated, already been started in different parts, and the state capitals have been chosen for the venue. And with that, more and more national games at different level, age group nationals are to be organized at the Northeast. Inter-university competitions like Rajiv Gandhi University of Arunachal Pradesh organized the Eastern Intervarsity tournaments. So likewise, Tripura University also organized inter-university volleyball tournaments. And these more and more tournaments will be given opportunity to these Northeast states so that they can organize and students can come and see it. And finally, the catch them young and train them right. These slogans need not to be forgotten. This is to be Understood? So that from the very early stage, we can catch the youngsters and train them right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. As there is no question still in the chat box, so yes, let me see just 1 minute, sir. There is no question. So only my request is to sir, this is our last session, and there is no formal valedictory or something because my registered sir is engaged with some other very important meeting. So we have to finish. Sir, please be with us. So and now mm, I want to thank again our beloved sir, Sir Roshin Kumar Bose, sir, for your nice, informative, and revealing presentation. Sir has highlighted about the competition and cooperation, how to motivate the athlete positively, tell them the ethics of sports, the history, sorry, excuse me, the history of intercollege in relation to international level, how the Northeast sports persons excel their performance. Sir also highlighted very good information regarding the Northeast and its prospect as well as to the country also. Sir also mentioned the Northeast as a unofficial sports capital of India. That is very nice to see as I am working here and I am now a Northeast pupil. So thank you very much for receiving our invitation and to share your knowledge, sir. So now I would like to invite as open forum to our participant. If you have any question, so you can unmute and ask any question to sir. In between, I have one formal announcement that already I have given you to the WhatsApp group. That is, I will share after 5 p.m. one feedback form. You all will have to fill up that one, and you will be getting e-certificate. So that is very mandate, and don't panic. There is no exam like that one. Now the brief of the workshop. Let me tell you, because you know this is situation is like one man army. So I'm trying to handle all those things. Due to some Viva voice, my convener is also engaged there. We are expecting that he will be able, but I'm very sorry to say that one. So 342 people registered in this workshop. Among them, the highest participant were 121 in this seminar. So I'm very thankful to all of you. Now, I want to explain you the outcome of this workshop. As after every lecture, I have tried to give that one. Then on the first day, we had two speakers, Dr. Kallan Chaudhary and Sanjay Ghosh, Mr. Sanjay Ghosh. So they have highlighted on how to train the athlete for competitive sports and the officiating in athletics. And today we have enriched with our very nice presenter, Professor Sanjeev Mirda and Professor Ashim Kumar Bose. In the first session, we come to know that psychological preparation of athlete, and now the technique and method how to promote athletics as well as the sports for the country with special reference to the collegiate level. So this was very small brief, and now some questions are coming. Let me see. Now everybody has appreciated our speakers mode of delivery and presentation about the information. All those things are appreciated. So now let me inform you about something about my department. So in my department, this is the setup. In every central university, there is a sports department setup. We are not also beyond that one. We train students in football men, women, cricket men, table tennis men, women, badminton men, women, hockey women, chess for open, and taekwondo and judo and boxing also. So in inter college also, in that reference I want to highlight you that we participate in East Zone, and we also organize the inter college tournament, which the sports I have mentioned, these disciplines and events. And then we participate in East Zone as well as in the Inter Zone and All India Inter competition also. You may be confused. Some people may not know what is the Inter Zone and All India Inter University. Both are same, but some are direct. Suppose in judo, wrestling, those are known as All India Inter University, and suppose football, which are from the zonal level, you have to come for the competition, that is known as Inter Zone. So we are also in the East Zone, and in East Zone is a huge zone up to UP. That zone is including this Northeast. So huge competition is also there, and every year uh, either football or hockey or in table tennis or badminton, we qualify in the national. And not only one or two, normally we qualify 4 to 6 games, but due to financial problem in everywhere, you may think that central university there may not be problem and all such things, but really there is a the country is going in the economic way, so there is a lack of fund. You have to manage your fund properly. So from this peripheral state to participate in the central India, that is very hard job for us. It takes 3 4 days to go and participate. So those things are little bit of problem, but I don't see those problems. As much as possible my authority allow, and I am very happy to share that my authority allows me every permission. What Mr. Sarkar, Dr. Sarkar, you want, you go for the community. So that level of freedom I have, I can do. We participate those things, and we organize daily exercise program, which I want to emphasize. Not only the competition, being a human universitarian or college people, you have to do those things when you are related with sports, or maybe you are a teacher, physical education teacher, or the coach or whatever. So you should have to culminate and nurture in your mind that for the community we have to do. You will be shocked that we have everyday exercise program. Can you imagine? Everyday exercise program. Only during this year, due to coronavirus, due to this COVID-19 situation, we have stopped everything. But in between also, in during the month of August, when everything was something was little bit of free, then we started again the football coaching for the kids, and exercise program, and separately for men, women, and those who are the participant, our PG student, UG student, and our staffs, officers, teachers, from young teacher to aged teacher also. It's very compulsory. Achha, that one also one thing. And we conduct regularly workshop, seminar, conference. Last year also I conduct one international seminar, and I feel proud to say you that it was really in the true meaning of international seminar. It is not such a person that one international person I invited, he joined, and I turned it as a international person. 18 student only participated on that seminar, and 4 teachers participated on that seminar also. So it was first time I organized that one. So it was international seminar. We are trying to establish more sports infrastructure in within our university, as our respected pro vice chancellor also said. So, and the center of sports excellency also we have submitted. It is under the consideration, including the sports hostel also. So these things are aspect why I am sharing to you, because the country is India. So whatever we are doing, that effect will go to my country. So whatever is in my mind I am sharing, whatever is in your mind you are sharing, I am learning to you. You should learn from this one. So it is just a sharing one in this community of our sports and athletics and physical education. We sent the research project also, and that is I am very highly thankful to my all the departments, with zoology department yesterday, who welcome all of you. That person is assistant professor on zoology, and he has very good background to have the abroad his postgraduate degree also from USA. So their knowledge I am converting and I am using in my discipline. So that is my intention to accumulate those things. Okay, we have sent even in the DST project, one project reached at the highest level, top level under the consideration, and day before, 2 3 days before also, I received one another letter from the DST. That one simply the acknowledgement, but long process is there. So this all these things are there what we are trying. So we as this community, we are belonging this sports community, we will try our best. So short achievement we have, we become the second in taekwondo last year also in all India. So in East Zone also second and third position repeatedly in women football also. So my focus is, as sir has said, so women football, women hockey, that we are trying to do that one. Okay, so then that athlete will come. So, and why this I am able to do, you will be shocked that my setup is only myself. I am heading this department, and my level is assistant level only. I am not a professor, I am not a deputy director or director or associate professor. So what I mean to say is, with the little experience, whatever I am trying to do is I am collecting the knowledge from other people with the seniors. He may be the from other department also. No way how to organize those things. You before getting the job, one type of education you need, one type of another type of experience you need, but after getting your job, that is very different. That learning is also very different. I after getting my job, I have struggled 13 years in the school. After 13 years I get the job in the university. So there is, if you have the look, you can do that one. So 13 14 inter college without facing any problem I can organize. So uh, that one only possible due to the Mizo community, the attitude of this Mizo community, this attitude of this northeast people. When in the plain area we organize one, even in the Assam also, Assam University, I should not give that example. There is so many problems, so many issues are there. So we have to counteract all those things, but we cannot control our students fully. But here the community can control. There is a good guidance. Every college, they send very good professor, very good teacher with the squad, as a squad to the team. So now still there is no question. So I was waiting for that one and spending some time with you. So I am very thankful to you that you appreciate. I don't know how much we have provided, but I am very thankful to our chief patron, that Professor KRS Sambasiva Rao, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Mizoram University. He is giving his tireless effort, and besides his very busy schedule, I am very thankful that he addressed yesterday also us, and I am delighted that I am very thankful to our Pro Vice Chancellor, Professor J.K. Patnaik. Professor is also from Pro Vice Chancellor of Mizoram University, and our registrar, Professor Lal Nundanga. They always say that whatever we may be joined or not, you go ahead, you are doing something good, very good. So that is, I am very thankful to my convener, that Dr. Amit Kumar Trivedi also is the assistant professor from zoology department, and our respected resource person, Professor Sanjeev Mirda, is the head of the Department of Physical Education. Professor Ashim Kumar Bose sir. So Dr. Kallan Chaudhary sir, he is now having very important and valuable responsibility. He is the chief coach now of India in athletics. Sri Sanjay Ghosh, he also managed during this time, this December time. He is very busy during this time, I know. So besides this, he accept, and this is the thing to our resource person. With my single phone call, they received, and they appreciated my effort, and they given their consent that yes, we will be there. That is very important thing. And our after the first whistle, who given their cooperation to have this one fruitful. And in Google Meet there is some issues, some problems, but besides this, uh, they helped us very nicely. And as yesterday also I mentioned, Mr. Ujjwal Das Chaudhary, he is very kind enough to do all the things. Whenever I call him, Ujjwal Da, do this one, he immediately do. Okay, Shogoto, it will take 1 minute, just he do that one, and he send me, you just circulate again, you check it, I am giving you. So with all this vote of thanks, I would like to conclude today's seminar. As I told you, there is no very much official valedictory program. You will get your certificate within very shortly, within 2-3 working days. I am trying to do that one. And now I would like to call, if sir is there, uh, sir Oshim Babu is there. AKB sir.
Yes, Swagoto.
Sir,
Sir is there.
at last, if sir say some words, few words to us.
Actually, I was a speaker. But Shogat is my student and Ujjwal is also there and a lot of students are there also. Thing is that
Yes.
I had the opportunity to visit Mizoram University with the invitation of Shogat last year probably, no? And
Yes.
that was a international seminar. And along with me, Dr. Sudarshan Bishra, Sanjeev Nidha, and we all also were there, all of Banerjee and all. He also organized a very nice seminars also, and within this, within the hilly areas of Mizoram, he has set up a very nice department, and particularly he has a good communication with the other department people also, and they also loved him much because of his tireless effort to that extent. Because he basically he is from plain area and all, North Bengal and all, but he has adjusted himself and adopted everything that way. I don't at this moment. I should not give anything to him, but once again he has organized this webinar where I am once again been invited. Thanks a lot, Shogoto. You have done nice work and keep doing, keep going. And the people who are also attending today, most of them are office age. I also wish them a good luck, healthy life, and happy life. You also do your tireless job, whatever it may be, because we cannot think everything overnight. Overnight, nothing can be done. We have left about 34, 35, 36, or 38 years back. And now we have come in such a position that we also want to see our students to grow and groom nicely. So we also always helpful. We also be looking for their success also. And we definitely our good wishes with you. And keep going. Thank you. Microphone.
Swagoto, unmute.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Okay. Hello. I am audible. Okay. I would like to last not but the least, I would like to thank to our very nice participant. There was no disturb. There was maybe some gadget handling, maybe some problem, some issue. Everybody may not be up to date with this one, but next generation we know they are more efficient to handle those things. Anyway, be healthy, remain fit, contribute to your country, your place. So only one thing I will tell you. So do not trouble. There is a good tongue twister, always I used to say, do not trouble until trouble troubles you. For if you trouble will double trouble will trouble you. So please be safe. Thank you, Ujjalda. Thank you all. Thank you, the technical committee. I will give you the share your certificate as early as possible. Thank you. Let us
Okay.
finish this one. Okay. Thank you, sir.